This week in F1, the sport returned from its summer break with a bit of a bang thanks to a couple of pretty big announcements. On Friday, or today if you're watching as this video goes out, and following months of speculation, it was made official that Audi will be joining Formula One as a power unit supplier, but not until 2026 when the new regulations come into force. The manufacturer also said in the announcement that it will decide which team to partner with by the end of the year, and as Motorsport.com reported earlier in the week, it is expected to be with Sauber, with Audi expected to take a stake in the team. They also revealed, by the way, a very nice concept livery, which you will be able to see throughout this part of the video. I'm a big fan of that look. Audi will develop its new power unit at its Newburgh site. I've probably butchered that pronunciation, so apologies for that. And there are already test benches in place for F1 engines. And on top of that, there are also plans being put in place to expand personnel and infrastructure for the F1 project by the end of the year. In the press conference at Spa, Audi board chairman Markus Duesmann said that motorsport is an integral part of the manufacturer's DNA and described F1, and I'm going to quote him, as a highly challenging development laboratory. Heard it called a few things over the years, never that, adding that with the new rules on the horizon, now is the right time for the brand to get involved with the sport as both Audi and F1 pursue their sustainability goals. What does this mean for Alfa Romeo, though? After all, the chances of us seeing a team called Audi Alfa Romeo Sauber are unlikely. Having said that, this is the same team that was once called BMW Sauber and was powered by Ferrari, and yes, I know, very different circumstances. But on Alfa, the brand has confirmed that the agreement it has with the team will end at the end of 2023, and whilst again Audi hasn't confirmed who it will partner with, this is all just a little bit too coincidental for me, quite frankly, although you never know with this sport. Maybe we're looking at an Audi title sponsorship for a couple of years before they start powering the team or even buy it out completely. We'll see, of course. And as always, if there is any further news on this between me recording this and the video going out, I will drop a link below with more info. On Wednesday, McLaren confirmed in possibly the least surprising announcement that Daniel Ricciardo will be leaving the team at the end of the season, although did stop short of revealing who will be replacing him for 2023. Ooh, I wonder who that will be. I have no idea. The decision to end their time together was described as a mutual agreement, with the team thanking the Aussie for his dedication and contribution to McLaren. Ricciardo himself stated that he has no regrets over the decision to join McLaren and went on to say he has never been more motivated to compete and be part of the sport he loves. So it sounds like he wants to stay in F1, and he was also clear he will see out the season with the team. He didn't rule out taking a sabbatical either, by the way, and when asked in the press conference, he stated that if it made sense and the stars didn't align with another team for 23, he would take a year out, but added that F1 is the only racing he is interested in right now. What now for Ricciardo, though? Well, the smart money is on a return to Enstone with Alpine, although Haas have reportedly been in touch too. Williams still haven't confirmed who will partner Alex Albon, and with Audi joining in a few years, perhaps Sauber would be a good long-term option for Ricciardo. Just a thought. Either way, there are several options out there for him. As for McLaren, well, if it isn't Piastri, I think we'll all be stunned, but with no announcement due this weekend, there is still plenty of time for the team to sign another 32 drivers to add to their roster, so who knows? Well, we know it's going to be Piastri, and it is also reported that the Contracts Recognition Board will meet next week to start the process of deciding which team gets the driver for next year, although it is not yet known how long it will take for a decision to be made. It will all come down to how complicated the contracts are. Elsewhere this week, rumours have been flying around and have been for a while now, to be fair, that Spa could well be off the calendar for 2023, but there is actually some hope the race could stay, with Stefano Domenicali saying that discussions with the host of the Belgian Grand Prix are still on. This is F1 though, so there's always a but, and according to Motorsport.com, Spa is seen as first reserve, if you like, if other events do not make the cut. So for example, the Chinese Grand Prix is apparently penciled in to return in 2023, but COVID measures remain in the country, making it difficult for F1 to fully commit to the event going ahead. The sport is also apparently still hoping to get Kyalami back on the schedule from next season, although a commercial deal has not yet been agreed. And in completely devastating news, it does look like Paul Ricard will not be on the calendar next year. I'll give you a second to get over that news. We good? Okay. With Domenicali suggesting to Auto Ebdo, the sport could look to add races on rotation in the future, which could allow more venues to be part of the calendar, with the French Grand Prix organisers saying they take note of Domenicali's comments, quote, regarding its absence from the calendar for the 2023 season. Of course, there is also still that talk, isn't there, of a street race in Nice, so France could still be represented on the schedule in the future. As ever, though, speculation is just that, speculation, and we will know for sure when the calendar is published, and that is expected to be in October. And finally, ahead of this weekend's Belgian Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc has admitted that turning things around this season will be a difficult challenge, but he does still believe in the championship. And I'm going to say this now, if he can turn around an 80-point deficit in just 9 races and take the title, it'll be the greatest comeback since the BBC announced it was rebooting Gladiators, or some analogy relating to F1. Anyway, the Ferrari driver did also confess to being worn out by what he described as an accumulation of emotions from the first half of the season, and went on to add that if the team is to turn this around, Ferrari needs to maximise every opportunity that comes their way. And specifically on the subject of the frankly bizarre strategy call the team made during the race in Hungary, Leclerc didn't go into much detail about internal discussions post-race, which is not in the least bit surprising, but did reiterate Mattia Binotto's sentiments that they will learn and grow from it and that the team is still very much united. That is it then for this week's This Week in F1, and if you want more on this week's headlines, you can find all the links you need in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.